I'm redesigning Offshore Citizen's website in this video, taking it from this to this. Here's what's in the video. Why I picked this website for the redesign, a section-by-section breakdown of its current design, actionable fixes to improve the website that can be implemented quickly, and finally, my vision for a complete redesign that could better connect with their audience and drive conversions. Let's dive in. I first came across Michael from Offshore Citizen while searching for nomad visas. His video on global mobility, citizenship and wealth planning are insightful and engaging. Naturally, I decided to check out his website, but I noticed it didn't reflect the quality of his content. This mismatch inspired me to redesign the website to elevate Offshore Citizen's digital presence to the same level as the brand's video content. Let me show you the website as it is now, and then we'll dive into a section-by-section breakdown. Let's start the breakdown with the header. The logo is oversized, dominating the header, creating a visual imbalance with the navigation links. While a logo is essential for branding, an oversized logo can distract users rather than leave a lasting impression. To improve balance and harmony, I'd reduce the logo size and center align all elements in the header. The font size in the navigation is 14 pixels, which is smaller than the browser's default. The default font size of 16 pixels in the browser isn't arbitrary. It's chosen since it mimics the comfort of reading printed text at a natural distance. Even if we ignore that fact, we can't overlook the target audience of Offshore Citizen, since individuals with significant wealth are generally older. Smaller font sizes, like the current 14 pixel, may create unnecessary strain for these users. Increasing the font size to at least 16 pixels or even 18 pixels would improve their experience on the site. The bold styling applied to all menu links create unnecessary competition, disrupting the navigational flow. Reserving bold styling for the active link would improve hierarchy and guide users more intuitively. The navigation includes 8 links, which can overwhelm visitors. Bundling related links into a drop-down menu would streamline navigation, reduce cognitive load, and make the menu feel more manageable. Spacing between the links is inconsistent, particularly between the contact and book a call button. Moreover, the clickable area of the button is limited to the icon, which isn't ideal for usability or accessibility. Expanding the clickable area to include both the text and the icon and ensuring consistent spacing would significantly improve user experience. Over 50% of the website traffic comes from mobile devices, making mobile accessibility critical. Buttons and clickable elements should have a minimum height of 44 pixels to ensure they are easy to tap on smaller screens. This adjustment enhances usability for mobile users, representing a significant portion of the website traffic. Let's analyze the hero section now. The hero image is generic. It shows someone in a suit working on a laptop while another person reads a newspaper. This doesn't convey Offshore Citizen's unique value proposition. Swapping it with an image that aligns with their services could make the image feel more trustworthy and relevant. Also, the white text blends into the image without an overlay, reducing readability. A gradient or solid overlay with reduced opacity would create better contrast and ensure readability across all screen sizes. Using all caps for headline may convey emphasis, but it reduces readability and makes it less approachable. Sentence case or title case would maintain emphasis while improving accessibility and readability. The headline, "Apply here now and start working on a solution," is somewhat vague. While it may work well for visitors familiar with Michael's services through YouTube, it's unclear for first-time visitors. Testing a more descriptive headline tailored to new users could improve clarity and engagement. The call to action button fails the WCAG AA minimum contrast ratio of 4.5:1 with a contrast ratio of only 2.25:1. This makes the button difficult to notice and interact with, potentially leading to a reduced conversion rate. Improving contrast and making the button feel more prominent would mitigate this risk and help ensure higher conversion rates. The button's height is only 39 pixels, making it difficult for mobile users to tap comfortably and visually undermining its importance as a primary call to action button. Increasing the height to at least 48 pixels would improve clickability and emphasize its importance. There's minimal spacing between the text and the button in the hero section, making it feel cramped. Adding more margin about the button would improve visual balance and help it stand out without feeling cluttered. Next, let's focus on the service section. The headline uses two colors that are likely to draw attention to it. However, this could confuse visitors into thinking the marigold color text is clickable. Keeping the headline in a single color would reduce confusion and create a cleaner look. It would be preferred not to choose the color you use for clickable elements. The subheadline is very wide, spanning over 800 pixels in width, exceeding the recommended reading limit. Shortening the width of this text and breaking it into shorter lines would make it easier to read and reduce visitors' cognitive load. The service cards are in a scannable format, which is a strong choice. However, the images are generic and don't communicate the unique aspects of the services. Echoing the same issue seen in the hero section, we could use images that are not from a stock website but professionally taken, or even replace them with suitable icons, giving the website a premium feel. As I mentioned earlier, the 14-pixel font size is too small, causing readability issues. The buttons have the same size and contrast issues as the main call to action in the hero section. Additionally, the uniform appearance of these buttons diminish the importance of the primary call to action button. The call to action, view more, is generic and doesn't clearly communicate what happens when the button is clicked. Using specific call to action text like explore tax optimization or learn about second citizenship would make the call to action clearer and more compelling for visitors. The cards feel cramped, particularly above the button, where more space would help draw attention to the call to action button. The buttons in the 4th and 5th cards are misaligned, disrupting the grid's visual balance. As the grid grows with more services, this misalignment will make it look unprofessional, not adhering to high-quality services Offshore Citizen provide. Ensuring all elements of the card align properly would future-proof the service section. The paragraphs in the card exceed 3 lines and are center-aligned, which increases cognitive load. Either make the paragraph's text shorter or left-align it to make it easier for visitors to scan and understand. The border surrounding each card reduces valuable spacing. Consistent spacing between the cards, both horizontally and vertically, would improve the overall layout. If this border is added as a subtle graphic to make it more appealing, it would be best to position it carefully to avoid being mistaken for the part of the card content. Now, we'll take a closer look at why choose a section. The section has ample space, but all the text is crammed onto one side, leaving the layout unbalanced. While this isn't inherently a bad design choice, it faces the same issues of small 14-pixel text and cramped spacing seen elsewhere. The accent dashed borders work against the design. There is space in the card, but adding the dashed lines make it feel crowded as it is too close to the text. Removing the dashed lines would make the section feel more open and inviting, encouraging visitors to engage with the content. The purpose of this section isn't entirely clear. Is it meant to highlight why visitors should trust Offshore Citizen? If so, adding a headline, for example, why Offshore Citizen or what sets us apart, would make its intent more explicit. We can add a testimony, a form, or some kind of graphics to the other side to balance this section while adding something that users can engage with. Next, let's focus on the second service section. This section introduces a different design for the same content as the previous services section, which creates inconsistency. Combining this with the first service section would create a unified experience, reducing cognitive load and making the site easier to navigate. The headline color has a contrast ratio of 1.94:1, which is below the WCAG AA contrast ratio of 4.5:1. This significantly affects readability and accessibility. The paragraph text is justified, which creates uneven word spacing and reduces readability. A left-aligned layout would be more user-friendly. The double solid borders create the same issue as the dashed borders above. They add unnecessary visual clutter and make the section feel cramped, even when there's plenty of space available. Here, some services repeat the same information in both service sections, disrupting the flow and risking visitors missing key content due to fatigue. A single unified section would convey the message more effectively. Now we'll take a closer look at the mini call to action section. The headline and subheadline are far too wide, making them harder to read, just like the above service section. Shorter line lengths and better text alignment would improve readability. The text could be improved by making it benefit driven instead of asking questions. The form here is malfunctioning, showing a shortcode instead of the intended input fields. If this is a critical section, fixing the form should be a priority to ensure visitors can interact with it as intended. Next, let's focus on the block section. The image in the background feels generic and doesn't align well with Offshore Citizen's brand. Replacing it with a more relevant image or removing it would yield better results. A more relevant or minimal background would keep the focus on the block content itself, making the section feel more intentional rather than a filler. The block cards have issues similar to those of the service cards. The borders reduce the spacing between the elements, making the layout feel cramped. Positioning these borders as subtle graphics for aesthetics rather than part of the card structure could improve the design. Each blockhouse card headline has a contrast ratio of 2.25:1, failing to meet the WCAG guidelines. This makes it difficult for users to read, particularly those with visual impairment or on a lower quality screens. Adjusting the contrast to meet at least 4.5:1 would improve readability and accessibility. The text below the headlines is centered and exceeds 3 lines, increasing cognitive load and discouraging users from reading it. Keeping the text shorter or left aligned would make it easier to scan and more inviting. Displaying blog posts dated 2021 on the homepage can give the impression that Offshore Citizen doesn't post regularly or that the information is outdated. This could create a trust deficit, which is especially detrimental in a trust-based business. If maintaining the blog isn't a priority, consider replacing this section with a feed of YouTube videos which are updated more frequently and would build trust while showcasing regularly posted content. The View More button here is effective and fits the context. Using a button like this would have been a better choice for the service section above rather than mimicking the main call to action button's design. Consistent button styles across the site help visitors intuitively identify call to action buttons, improving usability and enhancing the overall user experience. Next, let's focus on how to reach a section. The marigold color used for the main headline and titles under the icon create an impression that these elements are clickable, which they aren't. This mismatch can lead to user frustration and reduce trust in the website's design. Changing this color to something neutral would avoid confusion. The main headline and the titles have a contrast ratio of 2.25:1 and 1.94:1 respectively, failing to meet WCAG guidelines. Changing them to the same color as the icons would have made them more readable. Similar to issues in the second service section, the border around the contact cards make the content feel cramped. Removing the border and ensuring consistent spacing would create a more open and inviting layout. The icons don't look like they are from the same set, which doesn't align with Offshore Citizen's professional image. Using mismatched icons undermines the professional image Offshore Citizen aims to project. Consistent iconography would demonstrate attention to detail, aligning with brand's expertise in wealth and global mobility. Having all 3 buttons in the same marigold color as the main call to action button creates a visual conflict. Each button demands equal attention, overwhelming the visitors instead of guiding them towards a specific action. Removing this section and incorporating its content into the footer would streamline the design and avoid unnecessary page length. If keeping this section is non-negotiable, differentiate button styles to emphasize the primary action while de-emphasizing secondary ones. Now, we'll take a closer look at the footer. The footer is functional but could be improved by including a summary of who Offshore Citizen is or by adding contact information such as a support email address. This would add a more personal and approachable touch to the footer. Including services and quick links is an excellent choice to add to the footer. However, the generic background image distracts from the footer's functional purpose. Removing or replacing the image with something more relevant or nothing at all would keep the focus on the links and encourage conversions. In addition to this, more group navigation links could be added here, such as legal pages like privacy policy, terms of service, and social media links to all the channels to let visitors decide their preferred social media to contact you from and also be engaged followers. Grouping navigation links logically, such as separating legal pages, services, and contact information, help visitors find what they need quickly without scanning through unrelated items. Now I'll show you how some of the issues I mentioned could be fixed quickly. These quick fixes can immediately address usability issues and improve the user experience while working within time or budget constraints. After that, I'll reveal how the website could look with a redesign to better connect with the target audience and drive conversions. Let's start implementing the fixes. First, I reduced the logo size by 30%, making it more balanced. It's large enough to leave an impression but not so large that it overpowers the entire header. I aligned the logo to the left end, creating a cleaner and more structured layout. Next, I increased the font size of the navigation links from 14 pixels to 16 pixels. This subtle change improves readability, making it easier for visitors to navigate the site effortlessly. Additionally, I only kept the active menu item bold while changing the rest to regular weight, reducing cognitive load and improving visual hierarchy. I also added equal spacing between all the navigation elements and aligned them to the right end, improving the header's overall balance and accessibility. While I initially planned to simplify the navigation further, but this is the quick fix section. You will see a more streamlined navigation design later when I redesign the website. Now, moving to the hero section. First, I centered both the headline and the button within the hero section, creating a more focused layout. To enhance readability, I added a black overlay with 25% opacity to the image. This ensures the text stand out against the busy background without losing the visual impact of the image. I increased the font size of the headline and converted it into a sentence case, making it easier to read and more approachable. Additionally, I increased the button's height and font size, also ensuring that the button complies with WCAG AAA contrast guidelines. This makes the button more readable and draws attention to it as the primary call to action. The header and the hero section now feel more balanced, accessible, and visually appealing. Let's move to the service section. Let's see how the service section looks after implementing quick fixes. First, I increased the text to a minimum of 16 pixels for the entire service section and adjusted the line height to improve readability. This simple change ensures visitors can read the content comfortably without straining their eyes. I also added some padding at the top and bottom of the section, which creates breathing room and prevents the layout from feeling cramped. Proper padding is essential because it visually separates content blocks, making the design easier to navigate and reducing cognitive load. Next, I changed the headline color to blue. This way, the headline doesn't attract too much attention as this section focuses on showcasing the services. By avoiding the marigold color here, we also eliminate the potential frustration for visitors who might assume the headline is a clickable element. For the subheadline, I reduced the amount of text to avoid a wall of text which isn't inviting to read. I also reduced its width to around 600 to 700 pixels. As research shows, this range is optimal for readability, balancing text density with line length. I centered both headline and subheadline, which creates a more cohesive structure that naturally draws attention towards the service cards. Now, moving to the service cards, I left aligned the headlines and paragraphs, which makes the content easier to scan, especially for longer descriptions. I adjusted the buttons to be full width within the cards, making them prominent and easy to click even on smaller screens. I removed the shadow-like borders behind the cards and replaced them with subtle graphics that gives the card a premium feel without overwhelming the design. The buttons now use a shade of blue consistent with the active tab color in the navigation menu. This creates continuity across the website while ensuring the buttons don't compete with the primary call to action button. Finally, I adjusted the spacing within each card to make the layout feel open and inviting, while keeping the overall design consistent. These changes enhances the visual appeal and improve usability and accessibility. Let's see how the Why Choosers section looks after implementing quick fixes. For the Why Choosers section, I made significant changes to improve both the design and the content presentation. First, I removed the border, card background, and the section's background image. I have changed the section's background to a cohesive color that matches the graphic added to the service cards above. This visually ties the two sections together, creating a seamless flow and a polished look. I also increased the font size of the paragraph text to 16 pixels and adjusted the line height to enhance readability. This is especially important for a text-heavy section like this one, as it reduces strain and makes it easier for the visitors to engage with the content. To make the section more scannable, I divided it into 3 columns. The headline occupies the first column and each paragraph takes up a column, creating a balanced layout. This structure organizes the content effectively and allows the text to breathe, preventing it from overwhelming the users. Additionally, using a cohesive background color helps distinguish this section from the rest of the page while maintaining a professional and inviting tone. Let's see how far these fixes have brought us. Here's how the website looked before the fixes were implemented. and here's how it looks after. These are just a few quick fixes from the actionable steps outlined in a detailed audit report. These changes can be implemented quickly, so even if there are time or budget constraints, the user experience of the website can be enhanced, potentially improving conversion rates. If you'd like me to take a closer look at your website and receive an audit report with actionable insights tailored to your website, click the link in the description to get me to audit your website. Whenever I begin a redesign, I evaluate whether the current font reflects the brand's identity or if a change could better serve its purpose. The font choice should communicate trust, professionalism, global accessibility, and exclusivity, values that resonate with offshore citizens' audience. OpenSA, while trustworthy and professional, doesn't fully deliver on global accessibility or the sense of exclusivity needed for this brand. After exploring various options, I found Noto-san to strike the perfect balance. It embodies trust, professionalism, global accessibility, and a subtle sense of exclusivity, all while maintaining a neutral tone that fits seamlessly with the brand. Offshore Citizen currently uses Yale blue and marigold colors, which embody trust, stability, and authority, qualities that align well with the brand. However, these darker shades fall short when conveying a sense of optimism, which is crucial for clients to feel confident and optimistic about their future after working with Offshore Citizen. I have brightened both colors to address this while staying close to the brand's identity. This subtle change infuses optimism, warmth, and vibrancy into the design. The Yale blue transitions into global blue and marigold evolves into optimist gold. These updated colors create a balanced and inviting palette, with global blue as the primary color and optimist gold as the accent color. Now that we have finalized the fonts and colors, let's dive into the redesign. Starting with the navigation, I have simplified the navigation links to reduce decision fatigue and make it easier for visitors to find what they are looking for. By focusing on fewer, well-organized links, I have created a streamlined experience that helps users navigate the website effortlessly. I added a call to action button, book a call, and placed it prominently to the right. This placement naturally aligns with how users scan websites from left to right, making the button easier to notice and more likely to drive conversions. I have divided the hero section into two columns. On the left, I have added a bold headline to immediately grab the visitor's attention and communicate the brand's value proposition. Directly below it, there is a subheadline to provide a bit more context and help visitors quickly understand how Offshore Citizen can help them. The warmth from the optimist gold leads the visitors towards the call to action button, gently nudging them to book a call. On the right side, I have added a globe graphic to subconsciously reinforce the brand's global reach and highlight Offshore Citizen's international expertise. I have also added a gradient background in the hero section, which serves two purposes. It subtly draws attention upwards to the navigation, ensuring key links are easily noticed, and downwards towards the service section. This creates a natural flow, guiding users through the page while maintaining a clean and professional look. Next, I have added a service section. I have designed the service section as a grid of cards, ensuring it's scalable. Businesses often add or remove services over time, so this structure allows Offshore Citizen to add or remove services without needing a redesign, keeping the section flexible and future-proof. The grid layout improves usability by maintaining a clear structure, ensuring visitors can quickly scan and understand the offerings without cognitive overload. For each service card, I have incorporated tints and shades of the primary color into the icons to create a more cohesive and professional appearance. Each card has a clear and specific call to action, guiding visitors directly towards the next step based on their interest. Next, I have included this call to action section right after the services to cater to visitors who may want to connect with Offshore Citizen for a consultation before deciding which services suit their needs. Placing it here aligns with user behavior. Once visitors understand what the offerings are, they are more likely to take action. The gradient background and the Optimist Gold button draw attention without overwhelming the visitors, making the call to action inviting and easy to spot. This placement, combined with the approachable design, provides a smooth journey from exploring services to seeking assistance. Next, I have added a why choose section to build trust and credibility, helping visitors understand why Offshore Citizen is the right choice. The content is structured into clear scannable points, highlighting key strengths, including their expertise, personalized strategies, global network, and client-centric approach. This section is designed to instill confidence and make a lasting impression. Next, I have added Discover More through video section. Most people prefer watching videos over reading articles, which makes video content a powerful tool for engagement. Featuring offshore citizens, latest video helps capture the attention of visitors who may not be ready to commit but are still exploring their options. Videos also build credibility and trust, key factors in the offshore business. This section retains visitors higher up the sales funnel, keeping them engaged and fostering a connection over time. By showcasing recent and relevant videos, Offshore Citizen reinforces its authority, provides additional value, and gently nudges visitors towards becoming clients when they are ready. The See All link ensures users can explore more content without feeling restricted, helping Offshore Citizen maximize the effort invested in attracting visitors to their website. This creates a win-win. Visitors receive high-quality information from an industry expert, while the brand strengthens its presence and credibility. Next, I have added a contact us section. I have included a contact form in this section to make it easier for visitors to ask questions before booking a call. Whether they need clarification about a specific service or have general inquiries, this form acts as a bridge for communication. Contact form like this also provide valuable feedback. For example, if Offshore Citizen frequently receives inquiries about their credibility, these insights can be used to refine the website and better align with the target audience's needs. I have placed the form over a background featuring a world map to emphasize Offshore Citizen's global reach. This design choice subtly reinforces the message that Offshore Citizen connects clients to global opportunities, no matter where they are in the world. By splitting the map into two halves flanking the form, the layout visually communicates that reaching out to Offshore Citizen can open a world of opportunities. This thoughtful detail strengthens the brand's message and leaves a lasting impression. And finally, we have the footer section. In the footer, I have included the logo alongside a concise summary of Offshore Citizen's mission, offering visitors a quick reminder what the brand represents. Below the summary, I have added a contact email as an alternative for those who prefer not to use the contact form, providing flexibility in communication options. I have organized the footer links into relevant categories such as services, resource pages, and company pages. This logical grouping makes it easier for visitors to find essential information quickly while maintaining a clean and professional layout. The footer enhances user experience by reducing cognitive load and ensuring seamless navigation. Here how's the website look before the redesign. And this is after I redesigned it. If you'd like a website that genuinely connects with your audience and drives conversions, click the link in the description and let's take your business to the next level together. See you in the next one.